Ahoy cypherpunks, and welcome back to episode 15 of building the OpenSource-Odyssey website. In today's episode, we will be building a header bar for mobile devices. When I navigated around my website, I noticed that on mobile devices, the header is pretty cramped. And if we would add more items to the header, this issue would become even bigger. So to fix this issue on smaller devices like phones or tablets, we will create a custom component that is only shown on these smaller devices. And on larger devices, like a desktop, we will just keep whatever header we have currently. The component I want to use for this is the sheet component by ShadCN or ShadCN. And this allows us to have a slide in from the right or the left side of the screen where we can put all the items of our header. To start this adventure, I will navigate to the header component that is provided by the payload website template. This is the entry point for our header component, whether it's a desktop header or a mobile header. And here we are fetching the items from the header from our admin panel. We will keep the header component as is and do our work in the header client. Here we have the header client that holds all of the actual components of the header. And you can see that we are having some styles. To make the header stick to the top, we have a sticky and a z-index of 20, so it's always on top. We have the link for our logo that will always navigate back to our homepage, and then we have the actual navigation. Since the current header should be whatever we have on the desktop, we will rename this header nav to desktop header nav, and then we can just keep it as is without any further changes. Actually, there's one more change we need to make. Normally, the desktop header should be hidden, and we can do this by providing the hidden utility class from Tailwind. And only on large devices, it should have the flex property, meaning it will show again. Now, when I come back to the mobile screen, we can see that the navigation is actually hidden. Now we turn to the mobile navigation and we start by copying the desktop header nav and just renaming the component for mobile. We will also invert the hidden property, so on large screens this component should be hidden and normally it will be of flex. Now we can hook up our mobile header nav in the header client component by simply adding it after the desktop header nav. And remember, only one of them will be shown at a time because they cancel each other out in terms of being shown and not. Now let's install the sheet component from ShadCN so we can start using it in our mobile header nav. And we will be doing this just by following the installation guide. For me, I have to do it manually because somehow my project is a little messed up. I will install the Radix UI component for the sheet and adding the component file manually. Back in the mobile header nav, we can now import the sheet from ShadCN and start using it in our component. Let's just copy the boilerplate over and see how it looks. We have this open text, and if we press on it, we can see from the right slides in the sheet component already styled because of our design tokens and color scheme. So we can click on the outside area to close it again or on the little X to close it. Perfect. Now we can start filling it with life. So I replaced the trigger to an icon from Lucid React, give it some class names, and then start moving my normal logic where I loop through the navigation items inside of the header. Let's get also rid of the boilerplate in the title. Let's get rid of the description and move the search to the header. So things are coming together right now, although we can tweak this a little bit more to make it even prettier, just by adding a little bit more spacing, a bar to signify where one section ends and the next one starts. And to keep the branding consistent, we'll also add our site logo to this navigation bar. When we test our navigation, this is working pretty good, although there is one big mistake, which is if you actually do click on one of the navigation items, the bar should close so you can see what is underneath. And currently it does not do that. So let's fix it. And we do fix that by introducing our custom state to this component. So instead of ShadCN or Radix handling the state of the sheet, we will take care of this now. So I introduce a new useState with isOpen and setIsOpen, and I pass this to the sheet component. Then I can also add an onClick handler to each of my navigation items and to the search icon, so that when it is clicked, it actually sets the open state to false, which will then close our sheet component. Now, if we test our component again, we can see by clicking on the navigation item or the search icon, the bar closes. I'm also getting some warnings here in the console because I removed the sheet description, which is important for screen readers. So if somebody gets the site read out to them, this description is used to describe what we actually have here. So let's reintroduce the sheet description. And since I don't want to show it actually, I'll have it hidden. But nevertheless, for screen readers, this is very important. And it's great that ShadCN offers this utility to us. Let's do some final polishing for our styles so everything is looking neat and tidy, and then I think this is looking very good. So here we have our new mobile navigation that is always showing all of the header items in a nice way, so it's tucked away and only if you need it you can quickly jump around the website. So my final trick is to commit all of these changes so we have it in the online repository and stashed away in our version control. That's today's video. I hope you learned something. If you did, make sure to subscribe the channel to stay up to date with new releases. Leave a comment if you like something very much or want to see something else. And with that, onwards, cypherpunks.